Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. I hope that you're having a beautiful Thursday. I know I am. It's been a very productive day. Rocking my on-brand color. Got myself a pair of headphones so we can mitigate the noise in the background and get into it. So today's topic is about how to find gold in the follow-up process. Now, I bring this to your attention because I've been having a lot of conversations with not only my own clients, but prospects on the importance of follow-up. And what I like to say is 9 times out of 10, when you follow up with somebody, they're going to give you an answer, whether it's a yes or a no. And follow-up is crucial to your business. It helps you not leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table. And if you're in the follow-up process and you know what to ask, how to ask specific questions, because that is part of the sales process, following up. It's like the secret part of the sales process that people forget. Chances are you tend to get really good at it and know exactly what to say, how to say it, how to be in your authority when you're asking follow-up questions, and then really starting to uncover potentially why that person is still a good fit to work with you. Okay. So I bring this to your attention because follow-ups really start on your actual sales call. Now, there's a couple of schools of thought around this. Your sales calls, okay, so I am talking about when you're actually on either a strategy session or that initial one call close, and you're not dragging your calls out 3 calls, 5 calls, 12 calls. My gosh. This is about the follow-up process being actually on that initial call, because there could be a time where you are on a call and you're looking at the clock and you're going, oh man, we've been talking for quite some time. This has been great. But I'm not going to get to my offer. Like, in your head, you're not saying this out loud. You're not going to get to your offer. And so you feel a little constrained on time, and you have a follow-up, right? So you're going to have a second call with them, and you need to have a process behind that with that second call. So there's that case scenario. The follow-up process on the other side is if somebody potentially, they booked a call with you and then they needed to push it off, or they said, I'm going to get back to you, and then they don't, right? These are different scenarios in which you might find yourself in when it comes to the follow-up process. So follow-up is important in order for both you and the prospect to stop dragging their feet after a certain number of calls. And it puts you back into the driver's seat and gives you more of the authority. And the follow-up process is where about 80% of your money, your income, is going to come from if you know how to do it correctly. Follow-up is really about push-pull. Okay, so sales is a push-pull game. I want to be in the driver's seat most of the time when I'm on a sales call, or even onboarding a client, but dealing with a lot of women who are also very alpha female, they're wanting to be in the driver's seat. So what I like to look at this scenario when it comes to follow-up is never push, always pull. So instead of pushing to get on a follow-up call, pushing to get onto, a sales call, pushing to make sure that these people are making you feel better, right? By saying yes to following up with you. It's a pull because you have something to offer and basically want these people being a heck yes. And if they're not begging to work with you, then why bother, right? If there is no mutual back and forth of I need this offer, I want this offer, chances are when you do follow up, unless you have, the right questions to ask, chances are the follow-up might go sideways. So you need to feel like there is a pull from them and a push from them, like pushing back on you, but also a pull from you pulling them in towards you and saying yes to the follow-up and then what you have to offer them. Why the follow-up process? And like I said, it's the secret part of sales. It's that last little bit that my clients tell me they tend to forget, or they're just not doing it. Or I've talked to prospects and I ask them, are you tracking how many people that you've had conversations with and how many did you close? What's that conversion rate? How many are you following up with? What's the conversion rate there from getting the follow-ups to say yes? And they're not tracking this. And, a lot of these women said, hey, I know I should be going after these leads again, or I know I should be purchasing leads, but I don't follow up. I have 2 to 3 calls with these people, and then it's either a ghost situation or I just leave the ball in their court and let them get back to me. And that, as we know, never really works. People have excuse of time, their kids, money, any objection under the sun, like I have to dye my hair tonight, I can't get on a call with you. So if you are doing follow-ups, there's no guarantee, right? But if you have the right sales process, the right questions that you're asking, chances are you will sign at least 1 out of 2 prospects just by following up. The impact of follow-up is great customer service. It shows you actually care about that prospect and that person, and you have concern for, really where are they in their mindset. And then it also demonstrates your level of commitment and confidence. And lastly, follow-up really is about detaching from the sale. You are simply asking somebody whether or not this is going to be a fit for them. Okay. If you are not following up, you are leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table. I can speak from experience of not only myself, but my clients. When poor communication is demonstrated to either a client that they're currently working with or the prospect that they had a desire to work with and they don't follow up, that really reflects back on how you handle your business, right? And we don't want that. We want to stay in integrity and trust and confidence in knowing that we're running a good business. We're not having crappy practices. So if you're not following up, I would question you as to why. What's really going on? Do you not have a system? Are you not tracking, these people that you're talking to, even on a simple spreadsheet? And if you're following up, but people aren't following up with you, chances are it's because you're not asking the appropriate questions when you're following up with them. Okay. So this is really what we're going to dive into more about. And I want to give you all some questions on what you could potentially ask a prospect and, really reasons why we ask it the way that we do. So the first question that I love asking is, hey, Brittany, just wanted to make sure that this was still a priority for you. Are you looking to solve blank problem? Okay, so, hey, Brittany, just wanted to make sure that this is still a priority for you. Okay, so in my mind, if I receive that question, I'm like, oh, yeah, absolutely, it's a priority for me. Maybe in this case, you talk to this person, they said they were going to follow up, and they didn't. You put the ball in their court to follow up, but they didn't. Instead of flipping the table and you making the decision to follow up with them, set date, set time on your actual sales call. So in this case scenario, there was no particular date and time. They said that they would follow up with you. So making sure this is still a priority for you. Are you still looking to solve said problem? So if they said to me on the sales call, yes, I am looking to really learn how to nail down my sales process from start to finish, from lead generation to onboarding or following up with potential prospects, I would ask them, if they said to me within that initial conversation that they were really having problems with converting people from prospects to clients, I would say, are you still looking to solve getting a prospect to convert into a client? As simple as that, putting their words back into the question. Okay, so that would be one follow-up question. A second follow-up question could be something like, hey, Brittany, we spoke on X date at X time, and I ran out of time to, really get into the meat and potatoes of my offer. I still don't know if I can help you specifically yet. So I'm following up to give you a couple of things to do before our next call. Are you open to booking that next call now? Right? Let's say you were on the sales call and it just so happened to be really great conversation, but you'd lost track of time. And you're about 45, 50 minutes in and you haven't presented your offer. They've been giving you a lot of information and there hasn't been any sort of, here's my offer, here's the price, all of that. So you're like, oh man, I'm strapped for time. So you could say right then and there, you know what, Brittany, look, this has been fantastic, but I haven't even presented to, I haven't really given you my offer quite yet. And I still don't know if I can even help you specifically yet with said problem. I was wondering if you wanted to schedule a follow-up. How's, Friday at 5 or whatever. Getting them to make a commitment right then and there on that call. So you have a second call close. And then between time from the initial call to, let's say it's right now, to tomorrow, at the same time, you're going to give them things to do. So you can give them homework. You could give them a video to watch, and you could give them, I don't know, something that is legitimate around said problem that they're looking to solve, that you guys talked about. Let's give them an assignment. Within that, that's going to allow them to see that you're committed to helping them based on the assignment that you're giving them. And also, if they complete the assignment, show up to the call the next day, they're coachable. They are ready to work with you. They're ready to expand on, their investments, their product knowledge, their whatever it is that you're offering. So you're getting what we call micro agreements on that call, and then you can do a follow-up close call with them. No 3 call, 5 call, 12 call close. We're not doing any of that. We are simply limiting it to 2 calls per client. That is it, or 1 call close if you can, shortening the length of the conversation as well. Another way of follow-up, and this is something that I love, is you've been in conversation with this person, maybe, I don't know, a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and you're really taking time to build that rapport. You have a good connection with them. Maybe you've spoken to them briefly on the phone. Excuse me. Maybe they have asked you, what is it that you offer? I would love to know more. Let's talk about it. And you say, great. Well, this has been wonderful. Let's book an actual sales call, right? And so, you say that to them and they're like, okay, great. Where's the link? They booked the link. They booked the call. And maybe they don't show. Maybe they push it back. They cancel. Maybe they, initially said yes. They keep following up a bunch of times. And they're questioning whether or not they want to continue. They want to continue on this process of purchasing financial solutions, or they're feeling a little hesitant of what you're offering and not sure if you are the person versus everybody out there in the marketplace. So this is really pivotal when you've been back and forth with this person for a while now. You've presented a few offers to them and you're like, hey, this is what I've got. And they're like, yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of fumbling through. Right then and there, you say, hey, would you be open to just a quick call? Just a very brief, quick call with me. Very brief, 5-10 minutes. Not going to take a lot of their time. You just really want to uncover some things that they have been thinking of. And then you can actually approach it in a way that you can offer something. Okay. So you want to offer some sort of expertise right then and there. So you get them on the call. It's only 5 to 10 minutes. And one of the things that you can say is, hey, so Brittany, I would love to know, just remind me, what's the main thing that you are focused on right now when it comes to blank? So when it comes to your sales process, when it comes to your financial success, when it comes to your life insurance, remind me what the main thing is that you are focused on right now. And then what you can also say is, how do you and I measure success together? How do you and I come up with a solution, basically? How do you and I measure success together? How do we do that? You let them answer based on what you said. Here's what I recommend. Okay. So that's your follow-up to what they say. You just said that you are in need of, a follow-up process within your sales process. You are in need of a follow-up process. And what I'm hearing you say is you need this, right? So you want to make a recommendation. But before I go into my full recommendation, okay, I want to know, why me? Why would you want to work with me? And there's so many other, There's so many other coaches out there. There's so many other financial advisors out there. There's so many life insurance agents and CPAs and bookkeepers. There's so many of them out there. Why me? Now, this particular follow-up question is really important for you to lean out of what they say. Okay. Now, this is very fresh in my mind because I just went through this with my coach and she gave me a response. When you're asking this, why me? Why not just work with any other Joe Schmo, right? The body language that you exude and how you come off when you're asking this question is critical. The reason is because if you are like, well, why me? Why do you want to work with me? That is very cocky, very like, ew, right? If you slow down your cadence, if you ask it in a way that's more out of curiosity and confidence, that's more calming and feels collective, and it's a collaborative effort between you and the other person, that puts safety and trust back into the pocket of the prospect. Okay. So they're feeling like, oh, damn, I like this question and I like this woman and how she's approaching this particular situation. So the way I would ask it is, you know what, Brittany, I'm very curious. Why me? Why this company? And why not hire Mary, who makes, a couple $1 million? Why not hire her? Why work with me? Right? Because if you're a financial advisor and there's an advisor that's down the street and you guys offer the same exact thing, you're offering annuities and retirement vehicles, and you're offering investment strategies and estate planning and all the same stuff. Why are they working with you? There's something so innocent about asking that question, but making sure that you're asking it in a way that's very neutral emotionally. Okay. And then after you find that out, the third follow-up question to ask is, so are you open to hearing what I think would work best? Are you open to hearing what I think would work best for you at this time? Great. And they say yes. And then you can say, here's what wouldn't work. And you're going to list out, you said X, Y, and Z, and it's not what you think it is. Right? So you said that you wanted to put your money into the stock market. I'm making this all up. Okay. You said you wanted to put money in the stock market, but in reality, the market's not growing. Okay. Here's what I think is going to work and why. What I think is going to work and why. Right? So what they said they thought they wanted versus your recommendation and what you think. This puts you back in the driver's seat. This gives you authority. This is going to lead them to making a decision right then and there. Why this thing would work for you. Why me? Why not? And the cool thing about all of these follow-up questions is, you're just simply staying neutral. You're simply trying to figure out from them, can you help? can you be the one that helps them get to their goals? And can you come from this angle of curiosity, confidence, and collectiveness, right? So you're really trying to figure out whether or not you're the person that's able to help them. And typical follow-up, I would say, depends on, when did you last speak to them? I like following up 48 hours. If at 24 hours, if I had a sales call with them, 48 hours, if, I didn't hear back. And then if it's been like a minute, I like following up every couple of days. If they completely ghost me, which that happens, where you get completely ghosted, they don't call back, they don't answer, they're, just completely out there. That's okay. Then the follow-up process becomes a little bit longer. Then we extend it into a month, then 60 days, then 90 days. And every quarter we're following up, is this still a priority for you? Have you found somebody to work with? Are you still looking to solve your problem? And if not, if they found somebody, great, let it go. It is what it is. But the follow-up process is so crucial to your business, because this is where a lot of women leave money on the table. So if you do not have a follow-up process implemented into your sales process, that is a problem. Okay. It is a problem because you're leaving money on the table, but you're not demonstrating confidence. You're not demonstrating great customer service. And it shows that there's like a lack of responsibility on your end. You also are leaving that other person kind of high and dry going, wow, like I talked to her, but then I didn't hear back from her. So in their mind, they're thinking you're the one that didn't follow up with them. So you're not giving great service, right? The what is the saying? The finances are in the follow-up. So the money's in the follow-up 80% of the time. Okay. Not all the time, but 80% of the time. And chances are at least 1 out of 2 people that you speak with during that follow-up process are going to make a decision and say yes to working with you because you followed up. And like I said, if you do not have a follow-up process, you don't even know where to start. You don't know what to ask. You don't know what to say. And you're also not tracking your prospects who you spoke with. I'm here to help you with that, because there is a whole psychology to this. There's a whole method to the madness when it comes to follow-up, and the actual method on how to do it. So if you're wanting help, not only in this particular area of follow-up, but within the whole sales process, which to me is typically, we start with that lead generation and we go all the way through onboarding and follow-up all the way through. And there's 6 steps to the actual sales process that I teach. And within that sales process, you're also learning my signature method, the permission process. So I know that's a lot of information to take in, but if you're struggling with the follow-up and you don't know where to start, let's book a call. Let's get you on and we'll talk more about, how to start implementing follow-up. If you're not doing this, if you're not tracking, if you have no idea where to start, I want to be able to help you, and we can start to uncover that more when we jump on a call. And, I can't stress it enough that, again, like, follow-up is where the money is. Okay. So I'm going to drop my link into the video after I get off here. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm here to help. If you have any questions on this particular training today, please let me know, drop them into the comments and I will follow up with you. Thanks so much for being here. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week and a beautiful afternoon, and I'll talk to you soon.